Hello, my lovely starborns. I hope you all are doing very well. So, Pluto has finally stationed direct in the sign of Capricorn for the last time in our lifetimes. So, yeah, it's at 29-degree Capricorn, and it will be leaving the sign of Capricorn by 19th of November 2024. Now, today we are digging into the human design system because I have a bunch of questions, okay? So if you're interested, stick around because my queries are connected to the system as well as the law of one. I do believe there are some intermingling energies, especially the entity that was channeled in both the systems. I mean, one is a system, the other is a law, but it is a lot of channeled information, right? And human design is growing and it has this sort of cult element. Plus, I do find it very oppositional the to the law of one, as the law of one is promoting love and light and service to others. Human design is kind of self-serving, but again, you can look at it in different ways. You can think of it as enlightened mindfulness, enlightened service to self, where you pour into your own cup first and then you share your knowledge, time, love, energy. uh, but there's something very off about it. I don't exactly know what. And honestly, I'm doing this reading to find answers to my questions, and I do believe it's going to help the ones who are interested in this topic. That is why I'm going to post this on my channel. All right. And I really want to figure it out because what's up? Seriously, what's up? There is so much that is gatekept, that is also complex. It's very complex. And I don't know if you've been on my channel, you know that I totally believe that. I do believe that things which are simple are directly from the source. And when there is too much noise and things are deliberately made complex, then there's something else there. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be nefarious. It doesn't have to be something negative. We will figure it out. But I have some relevant questions. I made a list of questions. So I have 10 questions, and I will be pulling a card each from the archetype deck for all the questions. All right. 10 cards for all the questions. So let's start. Number one is: Dear Holy Spirit, angels, and guides, please tell us about the founder of human design, the man who calls himself Ra Uruhu. What is his core energy signature? And then, how helpful is human design to humanity? What exactly does it promote in the collective consciousness? Who is the entity behind the channeled system? Is the human design entity connected to the 6D mind complex Ra, who gave us the law of one? I just saw the unseen card. What is happening in the year 2027? Who are the raves? Okay, the shapeshift. What is hidden and unknown about the human design system? Is it worth humanity's time, energy, and money? Tell us the truth of the human design system, and how is human design connected to Pluto cycles and the Age of Aquarius? I think we're ready. I feel this rush of heat in my face all of a sudden. Okay. Tell us about the founder of human design, the threshold card. Somebody who was in the right place at the right time. That's the energy that I'm getting. And somebody who was open to communication. And we do know that the founder was vacationing in Ibiza, and he was probably on LSD. And we do know what LSD does, right? And it is mentioned in the law of one that kind of like opens some sort of like a hole in your crown space or in your very energy field. I don't know exactly, but it yeah, it marks you as okay, this person can be contacted by these higher dimensional beings for channel info. So he was definitely marked. Yeah. All right. Now, how helpful is this system to humanity? The crone. Okay. So looks like it is helpful. But I also get this energy of, I'll tell you what I see. It is definitely transformational. There's a reason why it's gate kept. So what exactly does it promote in the collective consciousness, the mirror? Hmm. Okay. And who is the entity behind the channel system? The shadow. Okay. Is the human design entity connected to the 6D mind complex Ra, who gave us the law of one? Oh, yeah. Look, the mother. Okay. This is cool. So, what is happening in the year 2027? Who are the raves? The siren. Okay. What is hidden and unknown about the human design system? The underworld. Is it worth humanity's time, energy, and money? Looks like it. What is the truth of human design? Anima Mundi. It's connecting multiple systems, just like in this card, which is all there is. How is human design connected to the Pluto cycles and the Age of Aquarius, the temple? All right, all right. And the overall energy is the vessel. Oh, yeah, and we do know the shift is happening in our energy centers, right? 818 on the clock, and I'm seeing 19 here. It's reminding me of 919, 818, 919. I do feel like Ra Uruhu definitely had a walk-in experience. It was different than the law of one system. The way it was channeled, the woman, she was basically prepared for all the sessions, and the entity was actually very protective of the channel of the medium, and it kind of guided how to take care of the physical body and how to do things in a certain way in order to make the channeling easier on her physical vessel and all of that. But I believe with the human design founder, with Ra, I believe he did have a walk-in experience, especially with the threshold. So it was not just channeling. He kind of had a little death. Okay, he became a different person. Yeah. Okay, tell us about the founder of human design. His core energy signature, please. Two of Cups, Hierophant, and the Ten of Swords. Huh. Benevolent energy. I think he went through. He was going through something, especially when he was contacted, and it was traumatic. So I do believe a definite walk-in experience. And then yes, of course, a lot of knowledge was given to him. The Hierophant, I mean, it's big, right? It's big. He definitely crossed that threshold from a certain way of life to a Perhaps not that different, because the channel has to have links in the same field. So I don't exactly know what he was up to before the human design system came to him, but somehow there must have been some sort of link. Mm-mm. But yes, he was given a key here. He was given the key, and looks like it's positive. The person is so. There's nothing off about the founder for sure. Also, the information that he was given was helpful. It's very helpful in understanding our own self. Yes, human design is actually kind of, very much focused on the individual. And there are certain beings who are, of course, like, who have more transpersonal energy in their design, right? So human design talks about them differently. There's that. But I believe, what I'm trying to say here is the system kind of brings in this fresh clarity. It kind of demarcates, and it takes you out of your emotions and more into your, it takes you, it kind of like, pulls you up into your mental space, where you're able to see through illusions, all the illusions, and also the pain and suffering that is a result of the things that you allow your mind to tell you, and all of that, the bigger picture of it all, and how to detach from it. I also believe, like, the founder, he was a weirdo. Yeah, like a weirdo, like maybe he, that's the energy that I'm getting. He promoted some sort of pain cycle in his own life. So I shouldn't be calling him a weirdo, but I get that energy here. And he suffered quite a lot. Like, there was some sort of like trauma, which again made him the perfect vessel, and he was in the perfect place to be contacted. So yeah, his core signature is that of ruin, but it's the ruin. I'm getting phoenix energy. So basically, when he was contacted, he rose up from his ashes. Previous, like, life was totally like, he shed a layer there, Yeah, he became a whole new being, and that is the Hierophant energy. Like, yeah, he was touched by the divine, by a higher power, which kind of made everything else in his personal life very trivial, very trivial. And he definitely went through a high level of depersonalization. Now, let's see, how is human design helpful to humanity. And we do have the crone here, which is the death card, which is the transformer card, and it is the energy of the witch, the sage, the seer. It's also transcending duality. So there's this energy of non-duality. Okay, let's see, how helpful is it to humanity. It definitely gets you in touch with your personal magic, personal wisdom. It makes you smarter. It helps you navigate the matrix. Yeah, look at that. Five of Pentacles. It takes you out of your head, but I also get this energy that if you take everything very literally, it can do the opposite. You can become too focused on your design, and that is like a slippery slope where you stop being a human as we know how to be human. And essentially, if you understand the 2027 cycle and all of that, that's what they talk about, that humanity as we know it, this is what is dying. The way of life is shifting drastically. With the Queen of Pentacles and the Crown, it is definitely helpful. Goes without saying, it is. But I also get this tough love energy here. Tough love, it's like you really, really have to look at yourself, because look at the mirror and the shadow right next to each other. So, yeah, deep reflection, that hermit energy is very loud here. It's like it promotes reflection. And maybe that is why we feel that something is off about it, something is not right about it. And maybe something is very dark about it, because it does promote this level of, you know, individual focus, where just, and it kind of goes very much in line with what Gandhi said, right? Be the change that you wish to see in the world. So it kind of like promotes that ideology. It helps you become your better self. And of course, that is no fun, but it can be. It can be. So basically, when the world was being run by manifestors, intelligence was not important. It was not something that mattered. Okay. Azara himself says that it was all about that guy who could make things happen, okay, who gets the work done. The world was basically run by that guy who was basically a manifestor, and then the generators are the ones who are doing all the work. And the manifestors are like the leaders. And he essentially even says that, intelligence did not matter. And that is what has shifted since 1781. And again, it goes very well with the age of enlightenment and the revolutions that we saw during that time. So it's relevant, definitely. So let's see. What is the next question? So, what exactly does it promote in the collective consciousness? The mirror. I think it promotes this pure awareness, self awareness, which is very much in tune with the journey of ascension. It's like you focus on yourself, what you're made of. And also, when it comes to the pain cycles and all of that, with the mirror here, it basically promotes self reflection. It makes you cognizant of the illusions that are at play, basically allows you to witness your deeper self. Let's see. Hey, no, I'm not ready yet, but we will look at it. Wow, look at that. Okay, Knight of Wands and the Moon. But yeah, what exactly does it promote in the collective consciousness? What is this? Ace of Wands. Okay, let's do this again. Ace of Wands underneath. The Fool. The Star. Oh, another one. Two of Wands. Wow. So the Uranian energy is definitely here. It is promoting the age of light. It's all about that age of light. And it's not only grounding it, it is taking it a step further. The system basically helps you navigate the new life that we are transitioning into. The world is going to be very different in the next 5 years, believe it or not. I mean, just look at the past 10 years or more. Everything has shifted. I mean, just look at the past Pluto cycle, right? 2008 to now. It's a whole different world. I mean, did you guys see Optimus doing its thing? I mean, that's the word. we are living in. Personally, I think it's cute. You know, I really think the robots are cute. They do not give me the ick because you can really, really get so much done if you think about it. Like you can use them, especially like think of disaster management and stuff like that, and all this is all these services which are really not fit for humans. There are many service industries which are not fit for humans, you know, where it is very important to automate those systems. So I believe in these fields, automation and AI is definitely going to do well, you know. So yeah, that's just my opinion. But of course, you can have a whole different view on it. And I do believe the more we resist, it's more like the resistance is definitely in the mind, because when it comes to the outer reality, all these people, all these big companies who are making, they're living off of AI development. I mean, they're going to keep doing whatever they're doing. No one can stop them. No one has stopped them. And the technology has been there since forever. Now is the time for it to come to light, to just fully get ignited. So it was never about stopping or, and what we can do is not give in to the whole dystopia of it all. But I mean, I don't think so. We should promote the AI dystopia. I do believe AI is here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. So if you're still afraid and if you're still trying to, I don't know, protest against it or try to have this resistance, I'm not saying give in. Like, what is there to give in actually? It's not like a cause, you know, that, okay, this is bad for us. No, like, even if it is, even if that's your opinion, people who are making robots, people who are utilizing AI technology here and there and whatever, they will keep doing whatever they are doing and they will thrive. They are thriving. Anyway, that is the age. It's very aligned to the age we're entering, right? And also the age that we're grounding. So I think resistance just means you're not able to cope with it. You know, you're not able to assimilate with the shifts, with the changes. And again, I believe it is much easier for the younger generations as opposed to the older ones. They will have a tougher time most likely. And again, it's not a blanket statement, but I do feel that yeah, older generation, because for them it's like a very, 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 very drastic shift. It's like a flip. It's causing a flip in their consciousness at some level, because it's, and of course it promotes this energy of dystopia. Like I think because we understand at this point, thanks to the ascension journey, we understand how we create our reality. So it's very important not to give into the fear mongering and all of that, and focus more so on how it can add value to human life, how AI can add value to human life. We don't have to make it dystopian per se. I think it's a choice. You can make it utopian too. I mean, think of AI doing its thing in certain service industries where people, humans have to do the kind of stuff which is really not fit for humans. Think of those industries, where there is a lot of pollution, where there's chemicals involved, also when it comes to disaster management and all of that. Think what AI can do in these areas. I mean, I saw this post somewhere on social media where this bot was planting seeds. He was tilling farms and everything, and I was like, "Yes, make AI your bee," you know. And that's basically general AGI technology. But of course, I mean that's where we are headed. That's where we are going. And I saw that Optimus robot, and I think it's very cute. And I saw him doing a namaste and all of that. Like, okay, that's cute. Yeah, imagine, you're a robot uh, taking your dog out on a walk. I mean, sounds fun to me. I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with them. It's like, mm, maybe, yeah, because I did like Star Wars and everything, and I like robots. I always did. But I also understand why that dystopian energy persists, because I believe it has something to do with the resistance. Okay, why are we expecting something nefarious, something dark, just because Hollywood already told you that? It's already in your consciousness. So it can be like that if many people, tons, no, not tons, billions of people are thinking like that. Yeah, I mean, you, as a collective, as a big collective, if you're thinking like that, you can create that possibility for you, But as another collective, where you look at AI, AGI as this technology which is here to help you, and it doesn't have to replace things, though I do believe, I mean, it's inevitable that, yeah, certain things will be replaced, but you don't have to automate everything. You don't have to, right? It's a choice. Think of it as a choice. So, yeah, unless and until they start putting a chip in all of us. But I believe it's good not to watch Black Mirror, yeah, because that is, again, they're trying to feed you a certain storyline. Had it not been for all this, yeah, the media out there, the movies, the sitcoms, most people, they won't be they wouldn't care that much, they wouldn't worry about it. But because all of that is already, it's being pumped in the collective psyche, so of course, many fall for the fear and for the darkness and the doom that AI can bring. Personally, I find it very funny. So, and even if it does, so what? I mean, you have seen the Matrix, right? Yeah, I mean, you can still wake up, Neo. I don't know. I mean, personally, I'm an optimist, maybe because I have a Sagittarius rising. So, yeah. And also, I think we'll feel better. Collectively, we'll feel better because Pluto is moving out of Capricorn. So, things are going to get easier, okay? Just be very watchful of your own resistance, your own. And I know I'm talking about HD here, but I got pulled into the whole AI thing. But basically, human design the is preparing you for the age of AI. It is sort of robotic. Okay, like the age that we're moving into, we will be spending more time with ourselves. So our body, our vessel, our mind, it needs to be in tune. It needs to be at peace. It needs to be a nice place to stay in, And also, when it comes to communal structures, there's something about, you know, your vibe creating your tribe. That is going to be a big thing. So, yeah, it can get very lonely for some people. Then again, you have a choice. We all have a choice, right? All right. But what I believe here is it is promoting, and with the fool there, yes, that individual help is here, where it helps you help yourself in order to make you a better instrument. Yeah, and I remember Ra calls the channel instrument, that 6D Ra of the law of one, calls the channeler instrument. And collectively, we will be very plugged in, we will be very tapped in, and especially the ones who are very, very much implementing the unity consciousness overall. So if you make it your way of life, it's going to be easy. Yeah, it's going to be easier. So the more resistance you have towards the change, because the change is there, it's already here. And what happens when you resist and when you try to catch onto a falling tower? What happens? You know what happens, right? We don't want that. That's why we want to move on to the next energy, which is the star. And this is all about playing the game, the bigger game of Maya. And some of us, many of us actually, will be very focused on liberating our souls from this very cycle. And many of us, we won't be coming back here on Earth. Our time is done here. Our work will be done by the time we, transition. Yeah. And Earth will be a very different place. All right. Let's look at the entity because that is showing up as the shadow. So let's look at it. All right. So who is this entity behind the human design system? Let's look at it. It says the shadow. Now, I do believe that the founder, the guy who renamed himself Ra Uruhu, he was not the first one to be contacted. I do believe that. Okay, again, he was in the right place, in the right condition. Most likely, this very entity kind of like, pulled his strings, pulled his life strings in a certain manner in order to get him to a certain point. I do believe that kind of manipulation here. And he was not the first one to be contacted. I do believe he tried a few times. And then finally, yeah, he got in. Let's see. Tell me about the entity. Who is this entity? Ace of Swords, yeah, then breakthrough happened. But yeah, so many cards, look at that. Yeah, I'm telling you, he tried. They tried a few times. But, okay, so it's like, I don't know, if you actually, I don't even believe that, people who were contacted earlier, they were kind of like, they even like, came up with anything. I'm not so sure the history of human design. But yeah, this guy was not the first one to be contacted, and the entity tried to give the system to humanity a few times. At least, like, I do believe there were 5 attempts, but he abandoned the channeling. He did not give the entire system. Maybe he gave it here and there, but he did not until he found Ra or Uhu. That is the energy here. I want to ask about the system. I want to ask more about the entity. Tell us more about the entity. What can we know about the entity who gave us human design, who gave Ra Uruhu the human design system? Tell us about this entity. Final. Michael. And I very much connect him to the Chariot card. Michael. Connected to Michael. Oh my god, look at that. Even this card is here, which is very much his card, Ace of Swords. And this is, I do. Lately, I've been like, I've told this to a few people, and I have been doing my own research and reading about it. I do believe, like, in order to fully understand the Age of Aquarius, you have to study this card. This card. It's like you understand non duality, but you also understand how you have to choose a side when you are in a dual system. So it's not promoting any I don't know, that spiritual bypassing energy of love and light. None of that. It's like being very authentic, very true. That is the energy of this entity, and definitely from the light. Yeah, a being of light who is here to help humanity understand its shadow in a fearless manner, in a way which is not dogmatic, in a way which is not religious, in a way which is not, again, cult based. So that is why, you know and that is something which is off-putting about human design system. It has this cultish energy, but that is going to dissipate, I believe, the more people wake up to the system. It has to, because essentially what I see, it has a lot of value, for sure. I believe it helps you to get into the correct nooks of your mind in order to fully expand it. Like, not fully, but yeah, like just keep expanding it. And in turn, it's helping the collective to get more in tune with the source energy, and to allow that light to flow into our systems. So again, that is why the age of light, very much connected to the age of light. And the more I'm reading, sitting and doing this reading, I'm understanding why this can be so off-putting, why this can like feel a bit yeah, not fully able to put a finger on what is that ick that you feel, but it's the shadow, it's the collective shadow. And it's also the fact that we tend to fear what is unknown to us. We tend to be afraid of the things we don't fully understand, we fully don't comprehend, right? And that is why human design is very much about, learning, doing your own research, understanding the teachings, and then forming your conclusions. And it's very easy to dismiss it without really understanding it, just by seeing what is going on in the system. And that cult thing is not really a cult thing, but essentially, yes, humans are divided into five types, right? According to their aura, four types essentially. Yeah, projectors, manifestors, reflectors, and generators, who also have a subtype, manifesting generators. But yeah, for essential auras. And then there are 12 profiles, which you can kind of correlate to the zodiac. And there's so much more that is going on. It also utilizes the I Ching, which is why it got my attention. Then you can also connect the 64 gene keys with the hexagrams. And there is a lot that is up, which is well worth looking into. So definitely worth looking into. Now, what was I saying? And who's underneath? Let's see that. Stargate heart chakra opening, unlocking generosity. This being is generous and relentless too, because multiple attempts were made to give the system to humanity. So I think we all should be very thankful to Rahu. Yep, and he's definitely connected to the entity who gave us the law of one, because you got the mother card there. So let's see. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So how's this entity, who seems to be connected to Michael, Archangel Michael, how is this entity of light connected to the raw mind complex, who gave us the law of one? I'm hearing the mother of pearls. Okay, look at that. So definitely, I do believe, the law of one entity, Ra, is probably higher up in the hierarchy. And the one who gave us the human design system is this is probably, yeah, like in human terms, you can understand that the raw entity is the mother, and the one who gave us human design is the daughter. Yeah, yep, definitely. They're definitely connected. They are connected. They have a same soul family connection, with the Six of Cups there. And this is the energy. This is the entity. And look at that. Look at that. The yin and the yang, right? What did I tell you about overcoming the non-dualism, but also understanding the separation? Wow. Wow. I love it. I love this. I love the fact that I decided to do this reading, and I'm totally going to, like, dive into human design. I need to study the system now. Now all of this is clear. But yeah, let's look into the fun stuff here, which is the siren. Okay, so what is happening in the year 2027? We will hear a call for sure, and the world is going to spin faster, and our wants and needs are going to be very different. The word as we know it, especially emotionally, which again goes very well with the solar plexus shift. The mutation is happening in the collective solar plexus, right? So it has very much to do with the emotions of it all. It has very much to do with the will, the fears of it all. And we're leaving behind disappointment. We're leaving behind a certain way of doing things, a certain way of being as well. Again, we're tapping more into our higher mind. Okay, yeah, we're tapping more into our higher mind. And the rave children coming in, of course, they are the new children. They are the golden ones, actually. And yes, they are here for a whole new world. They are creating. They're the creators of the whole new world. Actually, that goes back to the alphas, I believe. And alphas are kind of very different, right? That is why you hear so much about children being behaving like grown-ups, as if they are not children anymore, and we like to blame it on the internet and whatever. But it's more than that. It's not just the internet or the age that we're living in. It's like they're different. They're mutated like that. And these are, I'm telling you, these are old souls coming in, like really, really old souls. So all of that is happening anyway. So okay, I also want to pull one more card as to this is what is happening. Like, you know we are saying bye to our illusions, we are saying bye to our delusions, we are saying bye to our disappointments, we are saying bye to what is not serving us. And for many of us, we're already in it, we're already doing this, but collectively, I believe everyone is going to, like, get to this point where we have to, like, shift. And again, it's not an easy process, which totally makes sense. But yeah, who are the raves? Tell us more about the raves. The universe, look at that. Yeah, again, five of wands. you know they, again, five, you guys, five, the penta babies. you know the word is the word as we know it. It's done. It's really done. And I believe it's always good to kind of get in line with the shifts, with the changes, and not resist it, because nothing's going to come out of it, because it's very big, this is collective, this is happening at a mass level. So the best you can do is accept certain things which you cannot control and move accordingly. But yes, the rave are ushering in a whole new world, and they come from different worlds. They're very different from us. They will be very different from us. They'll be freer for sure. They'll be more independent as they grow up, regardless of whatever they're dealing with. But with the age of AI, even if there are issues, biological issues, because of the mutation that is at play, there is something about, their vision being affected, and there's some other issues. No, I don't want to get too much into it because we will see what happens when we get there. I don't want to like say certain things. So, but yeah, there are certain things in the design, in the human design system, the prophecy, as they call it, the prophecy of 2027, where they talk about the rave and the issues that these children will have. But I believe that's where the AI comes in, and I think they will have the help that they need, and I think these children will thrive. And yeah, I think it's going to be very different and maybe difficult for the parents of these children to really understand the shift, because it will be very different from the bond that they share with their parents. And I'm talking about the millennials and the Gen Z. Okay, so the dynamic will be very different. But with the millennials, I believe this generation is prepared for anything. Even the Gen Z is like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Everything is okay. So let's see. Let's move on now, and let's see what is hidden and unknown about the human design system with the underworld there. Okay. Okay. Tell us about the underworld. What is hidden and unknown about the human design system? Knight of Wands and Eight of Swords. Yeah, it's complex. It's complex. It's very complex, and I think there's a reason why it is like that. It is simple if you're attuned to it. Yeah, that's where that God energy comes. Whatever is simple is from God. Sometimes it's not. So that's the lesson that I'm learning here. But yes, it requires deep dive. It is not something that you can just skim through. You really have to study it to fully make the best use of the system, which is why I think it's my calling, because I'm a mental projector. I mean, essentially, when I look at it, yeah, I really have to study the system, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, you have to kind of like get to the bottom of it, in order to overcome all kinds of confusions, interferences, all the inferences. I'm hearing inferences. You have to like really, really study the system. And yes, it's uncomfortable because it makes you face your fears. It's just, you need to be brave. Again, that theme of overcoming fears, is very strong with the human design system. That is why I think with astrology, it is so open to interpretation that you can kind of interpret however you see fit, right? But with HD, it's like it has a basic structure to it, kind of like Saturnian. That is why we have the Capricorn Queen and the Crone there. It's very disciplined. It has a structure. You cannot sway too much here and there. There is a little window for that. So it's like you cannot delude yourself. You cannot, yeah, there's no space for self delusion. It kind of restricts you like that. Also, your mind. And the human mind is sort of like, yeah, it likes to dwell in comfortable spaces, places, energy. I mean, it's a preference, sometimes many are attuned differently. So maybe, especially if you are going through a depressive spell, maybe you're not that attuned to it. But essentially, yeah, positivity is what we are attracted to, is what, that is why, light attracts all kinds of darkness and all of that. But yeah, the system is, it goes deep and it requires great study. And it's going to be a humbling experience. It humbles you. Definitely leads to ego death. Uh-uh. Definitely. So of course it's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be, because the founder Yeah, the founder went through many ego deaths, and also with the walk-in experience. Yeah, I believe something else happened there. Okay. But whatever comes to the surface is so very well worth it. Mm-mm. Yeah, see, victory after all of this, after the strife, after the mental scattering of your energy. It basically, the system tells you how to bring your energy to your center and to focus it in a direction which serves you first and foremost. And then, regardless of whether you have personal channels or transpersonal energy, you can expand that light in a better way, which kind of makes sense, right? It's logical. Wow. Wow. And because once you get into this energy and once you start looking at everything fearlessly, you also stop this, you get that rose tinted glasses energy in check, and you start seeing people for who they are as well. So yeah, I think HD is here to promote a certain signature of authenticity, so people who have had a certain kind of breakthrough, they belong together, with the people who have had similar breakthroughs. And then of course they're creating a new word here, and then there will be a bunch of others who will be in denial, who will avoid that breakthrough, who will live in this comfortable spare spare despair, comfortable despair. Oh, okay. And for them, it's going to be disappointing. They will not be able to walk toe to toe with the shift. Mm. Okay, let's see. So now let's look at the final energies. What is hidden is human design system is here to humble you. Okay, it's not here to promote egoic way of living, even though it is promoting service to self first and foremost, but in the larger, yeah, in the bigger picture view, it is essentially good for the collective. Because if we start taking care of individual issues, our own individual shadow, our own darkness, one on one, like with ourselves, we and our darkness, if we take care of it in a stronger manner, then I think, of course, we are obviously adding that to the collective energy, right? And it's positive. Essentially, it is positive, even though if it is self-serving, but it's the kind of self-serving energy that we need. Makes sense. That is why I get the stone, which is the philosopher's stone, the master of alchemy. You are mastering the alchemy. The system is basically teaching you that, and that is why it pulls you into the underworld. Kind of makes sense because Pluto went direct today when I'm recording this. And in a few days, Mercury is entering Scorpio. So again, that psychopomp energy is here. It kind of makes you a bit of like a, yeah, dark dweller for a while, but all for good. And I think this is very much about, in spiritual terms, you can understand it as the dark night of the soul, where we go through so many ego deaths and all of that. But because the design, if you understand the design, we are all so very different. I mean, yes, we are connected, but we are very different. So if spirituality works for some of us, for people who are more logical, who are more like analytical, for them they need a certain kind of system. And I think for such people it's very important. You always come up. across those people, right? Science versus spirituality group. So yeah, here's your science. So this is like condensed spirituality in a system. But essentially, if it's about the astrology or chakra systems and I Ching, it is condensed spirituality. That is what human design is. Plus, it's a channeled system. So, but yeah, it kind of gives you that science thing too. It's logical. There's a system. You can learn about it. There are the books, kind of like course books, and you just have to study and all of that. So yeah, makes sense. All right. So, is it worth humanity's time, energy, and money? Very much so, I believe. Nine of Pentacles. And the King of Cups also came out. Okay. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Two of Cups. Mm-mm. Ace of Swords. Again, look at that with the Nine of Swords and the Devil here. And the King of Pentacles. And this is also King of Cups. It helps you master your emotions. And I think that is what I told you guys. It helps you unscatter your energy, especially emotional. It gets you to center yourself. It gets you to see things clearly. It gets you to be independent in more ways than one. That is why there is this thing, authority, inner or outer. Personally, I don't have inner authority. My energy is very transpersonal. So when I think of what I do, everything kind of tracks. That is why I'm interested in the system. Again, I'm not promoting anything here. I can read the chart and everything. I've been studying the system for a while now, but I really believe that I have to deep dive further. And if you think it's your calling, now is the good time. Yeah. But yes, it's definitely worth humanity's time, energy, and money. For sure. 110%. Now, tell us the entire truth of human design. Wow. Look at that. The High Priestess. It gets you in touch with the source and the Four of Wands here with Anima Mundi. And it basically says completion. Completion. So, Anima Mundi. Let me look at this card. Wait a minute. It's the final card in this deck, and it says completion. Anima Mundi is the final card in this deck, and this card, the tarot, says completion. That's no coincidence. It's everything that your soul needs. It's everything that you need. It's all that is. It allows you to tend to the sacred details of your own life first and foremost. Accept all, reject none. That is where you rise above non-dualism. You become an essential part of the Tao. Not that you are not, you are, but you become aware of this connection in your everyday reality. The veil of Isis is down for you. Especially if you like found the system. In many ways, the veil was already thin for you. I do get that. Third eye is definitely active. This is actually reminding me of the HD chart. Okay, so essentially we are moving into nine-centered beings, right? We are nine-centered beings, essentially. I mean, it's somewhat of like a transitional energy, but it's already in motion. So, yeah, like moving beyond the seven chakras, going higher up to the nine, and essentially, I believe this is going to like keep happening. Then we'll move on to the 12 and all of that, and this is very much connected to the DNA, right? The DNA strands. That's how we understand when we talk about the spiritual side of things, the journey of ascension. So this HD is basically all about the journey of ascension, but in a more human way, in a more yeah, the 3D basis of it all, uh, especially your body, the human vessel, right? Because the shift is happening in the vessel. But when it comes to spirituality, when we talk about just energy and the star seed origins and all of that, in that we only talk about the soul. We only talk about the energy, the blueprint of it all, right? We don't pay too much attention to the body, even though yes, yoga is taking care of that. Yeah, and also the Kundalini yoga, the Kundalini Tantra, and all of that. There are so many tantric practices which are very focused on it. So we do have the vessel here as the overall energy, right? But what I'm seeing here is it is a truly fulfilling system. Like if you give it your attention, if you actually study, if you actually learn your own design. You don't have, like, not everyone has to, like, learn the entire system. No, it's just like, just understanding your own design is going to give you the right answers that you need, right? Yep. And I since I Ching is a part of it, which is one of the oldest forms of divination. Yeah, there's something to it. Plus, I Ching is very much the book of changes, right? It's all about transformation. It's about the change. But yeah, let's read about Anima Mundi. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. So this card basically indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. I'm telling you, the system is all about the soul ascension, but in a more, again, analytical way. Yeah, so it makes sense to the logical minds out there. Personally, I mean, if I think of my design, I'm supposed to be kind of this, you know, logical beast. But I think because of my spontaneous awakening, things kind of work differently for me. There's a lot that I understand, but there's a lot about my design that it doesn't sit right with me. But maybe I have to, like, yeah, travel to the underworld. Not that I haven't been there, but yeah, like deep dive is required here. All right. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Like, what is your opinion? What do you think of this system? Also, this reading. All right. Now, finally, final question. How is HD, human design, connected to the Pluto cycles and the age of Aquarius? Do we know the answer? But yeah. Tell us. The temple and the spiritual warrior. Again, the yoga energy is coming in here now because your body is a temple, isn't it? Yeah, that's a page of wands. Well, new inspired motions into the new way of living. That's 39. Let me see, what is that card about? The temple. All right, so sanctuary, shrine, the altar. Reverence for all life as sanctuary. Yeah, it is very much connected to the Pluto cycles, especially the age of Aquarius. So, this age of Aquarius, even though it is beyond the Pluto cycle, it is connected to a bigger cycle, aeonic cycles, yugas, and all of that. Okay, so essentially, in many systems, Kali Yuga is over. In other systems, it's not over yet. So, Age of Aquarius is basically the golden age. And I personally believe it's here. It's coming in. It's here. But for others, it's not so. So that's where the concept of timelines come in, right? It depends on the timeline you are on. And since we talk so much about quantum shifts, in spiritual circles. And if you're talking about it, then you have access to it. It's just about that, right? You have access to it. So it's about consciously putting yourself on a particular timeline that you see is fit for your well-being, for your progress, for your growth, personal growth, especially your soul's growth. Since, yes, we are all on this journey of ascension and everything is connected. And even though it's an individual process, but is it? Not so much. Especially when we understand things in terms of spiritual terms. This is where the concept of soul family comes in, you know. The age of light is going to be very, very important in terms of your soul family. Okay, your soul family is your real family. That is what this age of Aquarius is about, especially the dawning of it. You need to walk and talk and sit and run in circles that truly inspire you, that truly are in alignment with who you are, where there is no pretense, where there's no peer pressure, where there is no need to kind of like prove anything to anyone, where there is no, you know, envy and jealousy and secret two-faced behavior, where you are like something on someone's face, you're trying to be this fake friend and all of that stuff. You know, that is what we're leaving behind. The age of light is going to be amazing for the truth tellers, for the ones who walk their talk, for the ones who are not here to deliberately hurt others and all of that, you know. And if this is how you walk, I mean, you will gel right in. You will love the shift. You will love what is happening to us collectively. Okay. And the others who are on the other end of this authentic spectrum, yeah, well, they will suffer. They'll be disappointed and they'll be confused. They will not understand why things are not working like it used to, even though they are on their particular timeline. But that timeline is not, so it's not disconnected from the collective energy, right? It's still a part of a larger collective. So you will have the ripple effect. The light shines bright, right? Yeah, the energy of light is overwhelming, basically. And I'm seeing all the light here and the emanation here. That's significant. And of course, we'll be able to take better care of our body. We'll be able to take better care of our soul. We'll be able to take better care of each other, even. But there is a certain segment, and also it's connected to the future, as to how what do you say, the s- the communal structures will kind of like dissolve, and everyone will kind of be more self-serving and all of that. That will be the first urge. It will be, yes, essentially, especially when you are already on this individual path where you are just about self growth and you're learning about you. But essentially, you have to get out of that cave, So even on when you're on the spiritual path, you do not spiritual path doesn't promote becoming a hermit for your entire life. It's not promoting that you become an island. It's usually a trauma response. But once you're finally healed, once you have crossed a certain threshold, you get back out there. You mingle, you find your tribe, you build together, you love, you prosper, and all of that. And that is not going to change, okay? Regardless of how individualistic we get, it's like it's going to be a phase, but then everybody's going to come back together, okay? That is there, and that is again very much promoted by the raves too, because they will have their own community. They will not actually need parental care that much down the line. And even if they are dependent, they will, like, emotionally there will be at some sort of like a disconnect. So down the line in few years, you will see that there will be many reluctant parents, you know, who did not want kids and all of that, and they'll end up having babies because it's contracted. So the disconnect is not going to hit that deeply. And again, this applies to the millennial generation and the Gen Z. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing here. And any final messages for the entire human design system? I want to thank my guides, my angels, okay, my lovely ET beings, for the messages, for the clarity. All right. Final messages for the HD system. Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. I think the 5 dimensions here. 5 is important again, pentas, It's underneath third eye activation. Oh yeah, that's all it's about, isn't it? And yeah, this is also giving me timelines. So 5 prominent timelines. But yes, okay, this was talking about the 5 types, I believe. Different types, huh? The manifestors, the generators, the projectors, the reflectors, and the manifesting generators. Everyone is here to do what they are here for, and it's all good. There's no wrong path, which is very assuring. It's very, very assuring, to be honest. I think we're entering a beautiful world. We are already, halfway there. And again, we have to be mindful of the reality that we are creating. That's all. That's all there is. And we have to become kind of more mindful of the fact that yes, we do create our reality, and act accordingly, think accordingly, and choose love over base toxicities. Consciously choose love, especially when it is hard to do so, because you are basically overriding your ego, your fear, even the shadow at some level. And that's how you tame it. And no, it's not the same as a repression, it's control, mindful control. This is a kind of power retrieval, and it's different for each one of us, but I think we have to become more conscious of it. All right, so that's all I see. I hope this helps, and I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about the whole reading, the system, whatever I talked about. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.